Again, not arm wrestling, but you might have heard about the drama blowing up right now between Derek at More Plates, More Dates and Nootropics Depot, and his quote-unquote revelation of the underdosing of Derek's turkesterone supplement. I don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty back and forth between the two parties because that's up to them and we aren't going to know the truth either way. But it does bring up the issue that I just spoke about in the video on Liver King, just how incredibly shady and possibly dangerous the business of selling things to people can become. Which is, I feel, something that we will see more and more of in the arm wrestling market, since the sport is growing rapidly, and it sits alongside other strength and fitness type markets. So it's only a matter of time, I think, until people start trying to sell you collagen, tendon strengthening powders or more growth hormone secretagogues tailored to tendon and connective tissue maximizing. We're talking about health and fitness supplements, things that we are forced into the information that these supplements are amazing and will boost your X, Y, and Z in whatever direction, in whatever percentage. But most of them actually end up doing very little, and the ones that do, those being steroids and similar drugs, are essentially not allowed to be used because they work too well, and would be pretty difficult to float in the free market since they are essentially pharmaceuticals, and cannot really be improved on or made unique above other variations. There are only so many ways to reformat and repackage testosterone, and at the end of the day, it is all just testosterone. So where's the business opportunity in that? Well, it would have to be basically honest business, which is where testosterone is today, legally. Then there are things like whey protein and creatine, as David Chapman brought up. These things do work, but they're very cheap, they're easy to source, and they're difficult to make fancy and increase the price of without people catching on that the extras are really just hot air. They are known quantities in the market, and their presence is saturated and pretty resistant to variation in the modern day. Yes, in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, before they were so known about outside very specific circles, the benefits could be exaggerated and the prices increased, but not in the current realm of information. Anybody now can look up whey protein or creatine online and get a plethora of information thrown back at them, but nothing talking about any really extreme effects. But these exotic supplements, these things which are unknown or untested, well, they hold the mystery and potential that they could be the next step in human evolution. If I just try this new supplement, I might discover the thing that will add 100 kilograms to my bench press overnight. But if I wait too long, then maybe the authorities will crack down on it, so maybe everyone else will catch on and everybody else will be adding 100 kilograms overnight, so I need to act fast. That's it. That's the basic built-in marketing power of presenting something like turkesterone as powerful and revolutionary. If you can present this to enough eyes, the product begins to sell itself, regardless of the actual quality of it. Is this a morally grey area? Yes, perhaps if you want to side with the consumers. They are being somewhat tricked into buying these things, but it's not entirely without their somewhat complicit agreement to not investigate or to hold a little bit of skepticism. So again, it's a sort of desire to be deceived in pursuit of an ideal you don't actually have much information on to support. And for some reason, a lot of people look at these supplements differently than they would at dark supplements like anabolic steroids. If they take turkesterone, they can still claim to be natural, but not if they take testosterone. Where does that come from? Are they subconsciously aware that the turkesterone has a built-in very high chance of not actually doing anything at all, so the chances of them remaining natural still remain high? But where does that line of natural or not natural fall? Is it the consumption point, or is it the mindset itself? Because to me, the mindset says a lot more about the person than the particulars of what they consume, although the particulars do modify the mindset. Why would a person take anabolic steroids? Because they want to improve. They want an edge that they can't get elsewhere. Why would a person take turkesterone? Why would a person take creatine? If testosterone were as widely available to all as creatine, would there still be the stigma of being unnatural? I don't think so. I think there's something there about the inbuilt proof of a person being more committed and willing to risk to achieve things that you, or the person criticizing the unnatural one, are not. Maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm missing the angle. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this whole thing, about why the line for unnatural or natural exists. But my point is that in these industries from the ground up, there is this uncertainty, this murky trembling of shaky logic that's spread all the way upwards. So if the very roots of the industry are so morally grey, why would you have any doubt that people manipulating these uncertainties of profit are any morally cleaner? This is, of course, very anecdotal, but the methods here from Nootropics Depot versus Derek at More Plates, More Dates, more than anything honourable and noble, just seem like a massive marketing and discrediting push, even if the testing turns out to be true. It's the same way that competitive dealers work in the steroid black market. If there's a competitor to your product, because as we said, the product can't really be made more than it is, they will tend to attack and discredit the competition more than just try to be a better business. Why not just let the market speak to the efficacy of your product over the others? Surely if your turkesterone was so much more potent, people would notice much better results and would then realize that this version is the one to choose. But that's slow and depends on the differences in products being as they claimed. Going directly for the competition immediately casts doubt on them, and being the white knight character in the situation puts your company in a much brighter light. And as gossip spreads along with videos like this one, the white knight gets a free ride whenever the competition is mentioned, even if the competition is not being directly discredited in those conversations. And realistically, as Derek mentioned before this whole thing blew up, turkesterone as a supplement is unlikely to do much at all anyway. It's been around for years, and before now it never blew up as a wonder drug, because nobody ever saw results from it. Whey protein and creatine have been around for a long time now, and they have been consistently regarded as quality products, even if they're not so massively boostable. And testosterone and the other steroids, they've been around for years too at this point, and they work. Everybody knows they work, even if they're very unmarketable. So, can you see the pattern? If something sounds too good to be true, there's probably a very good reason it sounds that way. Try listening to that reason. And the businesses behind these flashy marketing schemes and exploding products are basically less illegal drug dealers, as far as morals and ethics go. So yes, that's about it. Stick with the classics, whey protein, creatine and testosterone, and you'll be set for life. Useless video, useful video, who knows, it's a video. Like it, don't like it, comment, don't comment, subscribe, don't subscribe, but do subscribe, whatever you want to do. But I'll see you next time.